because I don't know how much you know about Dwarf Fortress, but the way it works is it's all kind of generated, procedurally generated and everything. So when you start a game, you don't just start a new game. First, you create a new world, and you can choose how big the world is, how many civilizations there kind of are, and how many settlements, and you can go into crazy details with it. But the way the game starts is you create a new world, and then you select how many years of history there are in the world. And you can start with 100 or go to straight to like 1,000 years. So then the game generates a fucking 1,000 years of history, and then you plop into the game, wherever you want to go in the world at that point in that year. So there could be hundreds of years of history before you go into the game, and so your dwarves can be affected by things that happened years ago in their history as like a civilization. And so there's all this stuff going on in the background that you're not necessarily aware about, but the dwarves are impacted by, and they'll talk about, and they'll create things about it. And there are all sorts of heroes and monsters going on doing things in that time. So there will be prolific dragons, monsters, beasts that will destroy, cities or whatever, or so it's like you'll have like some sort of monster that was born at the beginning of dawn of time, and they'll destroy all these forts, and then suddenly this guy that's been around for 1,000 years pops up in your fort and starts wrecking shit up, and so it's really cool in that sense. Like, there's just so much detail to the game, so there's a lot going on, but the main issue with the game is there is a high barrier of entry and a lot of stuff you need to learn to play the game. But once you kind of learn that stuff, there's just so much you can do with it. And so you can literally constantly be playing the game, and each fort you make is completely different. There's so many different ways to play it, different sites, locations, styles. And so, like, there are YouTube channels devoted just to playing Dwarf Fortress and playing Dwarf Fortress in different ways. The first one that comes to mind is Krug Smash, who creates these epic narratives with drawings and stuff to stories of his campaigns with his dwarves. Another one is like Nucrium, who's also a streamer, and he, streams a lot and kind of teaches people how to play Dwarf Fortress. But the great thing is that with this new update, the barrier of entry has been lowered, so it's more accessible and easier to play. It has mouse support. The graphics are way better, so it's just a lot easier and much more enjoyable, more or less. So now is kind of like a little bit of a golden age, to say, of Dwarf Fortress. So now is a great time to start, but yeah.